Welcome, everyone, to Studio Day Heffrey. You want to hear the very latest of the Cowboys, I know, and that's why I'm here. We have breaking news on Cowboys OTAs, and I want to also sneak in a Luka Doncic is not one of us. He's not human. Let's go, Luka. Let's go, Mavs. All right, now, on to Cowboy OTAs. There are a couple of things that apparently we are going to see today that should make people happy, at least one of them. So I'm going to start with that one. Tony Pollard, Cowboys running back number 2, that is. Mike McCarthy today said he's been getting some work at a wide receiver. And as a receiver, he says Pollard looks natural in space and alignments. He said he's an exceptional athlete. And he said Dan Quinn's looking at him as a receiver. That should tell you how he looks. So this is where we start having fun on offense. The NFL is about matchups, right? So if you have the ability to play Tony Pollard and Ezekiel Elliott together and you don't know where Tony Pollard's going to line up, if he's going to be a jet sweep guy, if they'll both line up in the backfield and go out on routes, if they'll both line up in the backfield and one of them's going to get the ball, this is the fun of the NFL. So for Kellen Moore and Mike McCarthy, hopefully they're drawing up some fun plans because Tony Pollard is really good in space. He's one of the most elusive running backs in the league. He's not Zeke when it comes to the short yardage and the fall forward, push the pile stuff, but Tony Pollard is, in terms of broken or forced missed tackles per carry, he's one of the best guys in the league. So the idea of finding a way to get him the ball, I dig it. I'm in on it. Take the tight ends off the field, play Tony Pollard, I'm in. The other thing that Mike McCarthy says we'll probably see, and this comes from our buddy David Hellman, DallasCowboys.com, is Micah Parsons coming off the edge a little bit when we watch practice later today. Brian Broaddus will be there, so we'll have a full report in the G-Bag Nation on 105.3 The Fan. We're on from 2 to 7. There's a Ranger game today, so we'll probably be on more at 5:30 to 7. But check that out on the Odyssey app or on 105.3 The Fan if you're in the DFW area, home of the Cowboys, home of the Rangers. Now, Pollard working at receiver, Parsons working as a pass rusher. That one I'm not as excited about as the Pollard thing. I think Parsons has the ability to rush the passer, but we've got to see what their alignments look like, because if it's like Micah Parsons instead of Randy Gregory, I don't know that that's the best idea. But if you're talking about sending 5 guys and he's the 5th guy, now we're cooking with bacon grease. Let Micah Parsons get after it a little bit. So that is what we'll be looking for in today's OTAs. We'll have the full report a little later on today. Now I want to talk about something I was reading. Our buddy John Owning yesterday in the Dallas Morning News did his 3 position battles to watch in camp or during OTAs, and I'm just going to mention a couple of my favorite ones. My favorite thing to watch in OTAs will be corner, because last week when they were doing OTAs, your starters were Trevon Diggs on the outside, Anthony Brown on the outside, Jordan Lewis in the slot. Is that a thing where you're just telling your rookies you got to earn it? Or, you know, what's going to happen? Because Kelvin Joseph was drafted right around where Trevon Diggs was drafted. And we knew that Trevon Diggs was going to come get a starting job pretty quickly. I hope that for Kelvin Joseph as well. So will we see him getting in the mix? Are we going to have a competition? Or is this one of those things where they're going to bring a rookie along slowly and play a guy that they trust? Kelvin Joseph is a baller, and I would like him to win that starting job as soon as possible. And then Anthony Brown can be a 4th corner, or he can go back for the 5th year in a row and compete with Jordan Lewis in the slot, whatever. But I'm looking for Kelvin Joseph to go out there and compete to try to take some snaps right away. And Nashawn Wright, too. Everything we've heard about Nashawn Wright, their 3rd-round pick, has been really positive from everybody who's been watching these early OTAs. And now they are early OTAs. I'm not going to pretend like there's a ton of jobs that are going to be won today, but it'll be fun to watch to see how those guys are looking. So that's my favorite camp battle, is at corner. And the next 2, I think these are the same 3 that John went with, but they're the most interesting, right? Linebacker's the most interesting, because your guys who were the starters last year, Jalen Smith and Leighton Vander Esch, I think I would rather see neither of them starting. I would like to see Keanu Neal as your weak side linebacker and Micah Parsons as your middle linebacker. You picked a guy number 12 overall. You didn't do that so that he could watch people play football. And Keanu Neal, I just think it's really important relationships with coaches and players. It seems to me like Keanu Neal is the ultimate Dan Quinn guy. When you hear Keanu Neal talk about Dan Quinn, when you hear Dan Quinn talk about Keanu Neal, like they love each other. And so I don't think Keanu Neal's here to watch football either. So we'll see how that one plays out. And I think Jabril Cox, by next year, I would love to see him in the mix as a starter. But in the meantime, when you're a nickel and dime and it's 3rd and long, I'll put Jabril Cox on the field to cover. But linebacker, corner, and then the defensive line. Because on the defensive line, they've talked about Oso Odighizuwa, the 3rd-round pick, defensive lineman, as a guy that might be, they've talked more about his pass rush than his run defense, as a guy that, hey, penetrating, rush the passer sort of deal. He's a really good run defender. He's 280 pounds, which is a weird look for a defensive tackle, but you can see the wrestling background on tape. That dude is really, really good at not being moved and establishing the line of scrimmage. So Oso Odighizuwa versus Neville Gallimore versus Tristan Hill. To me, that is interesting. What are they doing at nose tackle? Because Neville Gallimore and Tristan Hill, to me, are not your run-stopping, fight-a-double-team defensive tackles. They're just not that. I think Oso Odighizuwa is more like that, even though he's 20 pounds lighter than those guys. So Brent Urban, I would imagine, versus, and he's a weird build for a nose tackle. He's like 6'7", 290. You would think 330, and you wouldn't think 6'7", but he's a really good run player. And then Quentin Bohanna, 6th-round pick. I just can't imagine that a 6th-round pick is going to walk in and be playing the vast majority of the snaps at nose tackle. So Urban versus Bohanna versus who else is lining up at nose? Carlos Watkins doesn't really strike me as a nose. So I don't know what that competition looks like. But defensive line, corner, linebacker, those are the camp battles to watch. We'll have a full report on 105.3 The Fan a little bit later today. Thomas said, Jeff, what new non-draft addition do you think will be the most impactful next season? And it can't be Dan Quinn. Okay. They didn't do anything really big in free agency. They didn't make any big trades. So I guess I'll say Keanu Neal, because I just go back to the relationship between the player and the defensive coordinator, and I think he's going to lean on him, and that's going to be his guy. So I will say Keanu Neal. If you disagree, let me know in the comments. Chance, who's the Cowboys' most productive corner at the end of the year? Trevon Diggs. I don't think that one. I actually do like Kelvin Joseph on tape as a prospect more than I liked Trevon Diggs by a little bit. But Trevon, his route last year was he was a better zone player than he was a man player, so we'll see how that split is this year. But Trevon Diggs will be the most productive corner at the end of the year. Taylor, from one man bun to another, hit me straight with it. Who's in Super Bowl 56? Is that the number this year? Is it 56? This year's Super Bowl will feature, is Aaron Rodgers going to play football this year? I mean, how do you not pick the rematch? But that's boring and it won't happen, right? I am going to take the Chiefs. I will take Chiefs versus Packers if Aaron Rodgers plays. And if Aaron Rodgers is playing. But if Aaron Rodgers is traded, I will take Chiefs versus the NFC kind of sucks. I don't want to pick Tampa. I hate Tom Brady. I'm not picking Tampa. I hate you, Tampa. It'll probably be Tampa. Give me Saints are dead. NFC East is unlikely. NFC West, Trey Lance will be a rookie. You got Russ, but NFC is going to be wild. I'm not picking Tampa. Aaron Rodgers is going to play. It'll be Green Bay. It'll be the Cowboys. Let's see here. Darren says, I'm a Lakers fan, but I love me some Mavs. Luka's a monster. You're damn right. He's not one of us. He is not human. Luka is a beast. Sup, Jeff? What are your thoughts on Dallas bringing in Ben McAdoo as a consultant? What are your expectations for him to do as a consultant? Get a free paycheck for being friends with Mike McCarthy. That's what I expect Ben McAdoo to do. And Keep Austin Weird is trying to get people to yell Zeke and destroy every time Zeke makes a touchdown. Like how people used to yell Moose and Coop. But Keep Austin Weird, I got to tell you, it's a lot harder to do Zeke and destroy because the vast majority of Moose is just the sound of ooh. Same thing with Coop. Zeke and destroy, like that's a lot more going on. You'd have to really be in tune with those around you to make that happen. So I don't know if I can help you there. And Corey, is the reason they declined Leighton Vander Esch fifth year because they're hoping the rookies and free agents start over him so his contract extension would cost less as an injury-prone backup linebacker? They declined Leighton Vander Esch's fifth-year option just to literally be wide open, especially once you had drafted a guy in the first round and a guy in the fourth round who you think should have been taken in the second round. Like, they picked two linebackers that they really like, and they do have Keanu Neal, and Jalen Smith is under contract, and he is injury prone. So picking up the fifth year at $10 million, it just didn't make sense. You just, much like they haven't restructured Amari Cooper's contract right now, because it just leaves your options open. Anything could happen with Leighton Vander Esch. He could be a starter, have an incredible year, and they could sign him to an extension. He could be a starter or a key contributor who has an okay year, and at the end of the year, they're like, man, Parsons and Cox, like, we're in good shape here, and Keanu, and we're going to let Vander Esch go and get our comp pick. You could trade him. Your option, it just leaves your options open, because the idea of paying $10 million, guaranteeing that a year out to a guy who's been hurt a ton, just doesn't make sense. All right, I thank you guys for hanging out with me. I love you. I want to say shout out to my guys, D and Chi, and this one is D. It's Darren Eubank. We lost him a few days ago to COVID, so rest in peace to my friend Darren. Incredible dude, incredible voice, incredible heart. Much love to you and your family, and to you, Chi, who I know that it's got to be incredibly hard on right now. I love you guys, and I send you my positive vibes. Remember, to leave in the comments what you want to talk about tomorrow, of course, because I need content. Well, they'll have OTAs today. I may have content without your help. But leave something in the comments for the algorithm, or for what you want to hear about tomorrow. And today's random question of the day is favorite roller coaster. What did we do? We did farm animal and dipping sauce. What is your go-to? Usually this is easy. I can't think of anything at the moment. What's your favorite movie? Favorite movie of all time? The Wire's not a movie, but it just had I believe, the 17-year anniversary. What's your favorite movie of all time? Mine's probably sitting right behind me. That way. Probably Tombstone. Incredible movie. Remember that you don't know what anyone is going through, so be cool to everybody. Practice empathy, mofos. And I love you. Bye.